why information security should be important to us all. But first I'm going to give you a bit of my background. I started off as an accountant. I'm not in the wrong place. I then worked in auditing for a while. I then moved into computing. I did my hardware, did my software, did my operational sysadmin, did my sysadmin, and finally I went into information security. And I did my MSc at Royal Holloway, which I passed many years ago. I'm a certified Unix engineer. Started off on Solaris and Red Hat back in the day when Solaris ruled. And I started my own information security company, which I'm CEO of. So why is information security, or why should information security be important to us all? I love this quote. Most people don't realise that their digital data is important to other people. There's a value on it. Most people walk around with their phones, or they give out their phone numbers online, or their information easily, because they don't realise that information warfare has already begun. And if you try to talk to someone about this, you get that glaze. I don't know if you've had it, but when I put my girlfriends down and try to talk to them about computer and information security, it's kind of like that. And that's because for them it doesn't really matter until it affects them, until their child, their bank account, their life has been compromised. So the aim of this talk is to show you why information security should be important to us all. I will identify the threat paradox. I will also try to identify the ramification of poorly implemented security policy. Finally, I'll suggest some solutions. Now, if you've been to university, you've read a computer book, an information security book, it always starts with the CIA. Confidentiality, integrity, availability. We all know that back to front, you know. We can tell you what ciphertext is the best, which one's your favourite, blah, blah, blah. Some of us can even do Euclidean algorithm by hand. Then you get the integrity. You know, some people understand, you know, we have our favourite forms of integrity. And availability, that's how we talk about information security. But try talking to the average person, anyone, about information security in this way, and once again, they're gone. They glaze over. Because to the real world, information security is about the state, it's about the individual, it's about the enterprise, it's about how it affects them. And they see it with respect to their threat paradox. How does it affect them? What are they trying to protect themselves from? And if you want to talk to normal people about information security, you need to leave the university and the books behind, and you need to talk to how it impacts their lives. And for the state, information security is about trying to hear the chatter. They need to know what's going on. They don't really care about you and me. They care about society as a whole. I'm going to say Heartbleed. A couple of weeks ago, I don't know if you know this, there was this exploit going around, Heartbleed. And I heard, and I'm not sure this is true, that the NSA had been aware of the Heartbleed exploit 2 years ago, but they chose to kind of say nothing because it was good for them, more chatter. And you cannot kind of understand why they do that, because they're trying to find out when the next attack on their infrastructure, on their society is going to come about. But by doing that, they leave us susceptible to individual threats. And that's the threat paradox. What's good for them is not necessarily good for us. And you've got the corporate, the enterprise. Most people, when they start a business, apart from me, don't start the business because they want to be really good at information security. They start the business because they want to make money. They don't care about information security. They'll get ISO 27001 or 2 just to say they've got it, a tick box exercise. What they want is to make money. They'll get the health and safety, a tick box. They'll pay that, a tick box. But they don't really want to do any of that. They want to make money. And therefore they will compromise all of that. In particular, they will compromise information security just to make money. And by compromising their information security, they're compromising all of our information security. And then you've got the individual. Information security for them, generally, not always, does not exist. And in many ways you can understand, because they've got an overload. They've got their mobile phone. I mean, people don't realise what their mobile phone is. It's their identity, it's their life, and it's so easily compromised. You've got walk by mugging, where people can actually access your mobile phone while walking by now because of the technology. You've got your PIN to access. I worked for a IT company, and I was at the table with my boss, and I saw her enter a PIN, and she used a 4-digit number for a PIN, and it related to family members, which I knew, and that was a boss in an IT company believing that was a secure PIN. Most people don't understand. Most people don't realise, or maybe they do now, that when you collect your messages, if you don't PIN protect that, you're leaving yourself vulnerable. Online shopping. I don't think anyone understood what a secure socket layer was until 2 weeks ago. An awful lot of people would go online and shop without a secure socket layer. Now I can see why. And online banking. Continually people are subjected to ways and means at which they can be attacked, and it's so vast, and they're so badly equipped to deal with it. But information security is their problem, because when it goes wrong, it really is their problem, because there is nobody there. And we've got all these different bodies who are seemingly working and doing information security in our society. You've got the MOD, GCHQ, all of them are there. A flat line system. But when something goes wrong, when your child is subjected to cyberbullying, I don't know, when you are being cyberstalked, which one of these groups is going to be there to help you? No one, because it's your problem. So what's the solution? Well, the first solution is, within a security environment, there should always be one single point of contact, and we don't have that at this moment. If I was attacked and I rang the police, would I need to identify, was it sexually, physical or racial? No, I would not. I would ring 999 and they would be there. In information security, we don't have that. Also, another solution is people should be qualified. I'm going to give you an example. I went to a really high power sort of dinner, and I was sitting at the table with a guy who's in charge of information security for one of the major utilities, and I'm kind of into cybertext, and so so I started to talk about cybertext, and he didn't know what it was, so I had to break it down. I had to explain what ASCII was to start with. You see where I'm going. He's in charge of information security for utilities. Then when I got to ASCII, I had to explain how to transfer base 10 to base 2. Yeah, he didn't even know what base 2 was. Then I tried to explain my favourite algorithm, which is Euclidean. He was lost. I kind of thought to myself at that point, if you mention #Mac to that guy, he'd probably think you're talking about a raincoat. He does not understand. And that's the problem. In our industry, unlike any other profession, anyone can claim to understand information security and be promoted up through the ranks. And that's unacceptable. If you want to be in charge of an accountancy or an account group, you need to be an accountant. If you want to be in charge of information security, you should need to be qualified. Our industry needs to get professional. We need to step up. We need to qualify ourselves, become qualified, because we're the community with the knowledge, with the love. But if we don't get qualified, then we leave it to those that are creating the system we have. And obviously, geeks should rule the world. Fundamentally, because we have the knowledge, we need to be there. I don't know if I've dashed through this really quickly. I think I have. So, what's the conclusion? For me, the conclusion is quite simple. The state needs to understand the individual is important. We need a correct structure of first point of contact. When your child is being bullied, when you are being cyberstalked, someone needs to take that serious. Not just you, but everyone. There should be a point of contact. The individual, I went to a talk earlier on about crypto parties. They sound great, my sort of party, cryptography and parties. And we need to do more of that. We need to go out there. We need to educate, wine and ciphertext. It works. We need to bring people to the fold. People need to understand, but they are responsible, because when it goes wrong, they're the only one who's going to help themselves. An enterprise. My past career was as an accountant, so I understand the profit motive. But the enterprise needs to understand the bottom line. Presently, only 6% of GDP is being achieved on the internet. But that's an exponential number, and it will increase. So £250 billion is being made on the internet. But as that increases, enterprises will understand that there will be an equal increase in cyber attacks, in cyber fraud. And if they don't get their act together now, in future you may find enterprises, companies fail, not because of their product, but because of their lousy information systems. And we as a community need to walk away from companies who don't implement the correct passwords, where they want a character and a number, an alpha and a number, but they won't use all the character sets. We need to walk away from companies like this, because they're compromising our industry and they're compromising us all. The saying, I mean, at university they love to say this, because if one of us fail, be it industry, be it the government, be it the individual fail, in the information security world, we all fail. So we have to work together. So I'm going to conclude with my favourite quote. I read a book by Dorothy Denning, it was about 8 or 9 years ago. I just got into information security, and I read her book, and it was part of my course, and I thought she was totally whacked. I didn't get her. I really didn't know where she was coming from. But as I've kind of gone along, I realised she was a visionary, because this is the way we are living, what we are subjected to every day. So why should information security be important to us all? Because information warfare has already begun. Thank you for listening. Any questions? No? Bye.